The drama performances have improved my understanding of peace massively. I used to understand peace as simply living by each other without any aggressive actions occurring such as fighting or discrimination, etc. However, my understanding of peace deepened, as not only do I now understand that peace also means to work together and unite with each other, whether your color, ethnicity, or religion is different, as well as retaining the meaning of no aggression, but it also is a feeling that society experiences that they can rest without risk of violence. Even watching other performances have the same reoccurring motif of peace, the ability for humans to rest without worries of violence. Peace in my own conflict specifically means to allow room for all religious beliefs in the world, rather than discriminating other religions due to stereotypes. For example, Islam was discriminated majorly due to impersonators of Islam convincing the media that Islam consists of mainly terrorists. Said impersonators include the Islamic State. Christianity also has the issue of being believed to be the bully of all religions, as all Christians are believed to be strongly supportive of Christianity and will attack other religions. Jews are made fun of due to the Holocaust, and atheists are discriminated due to having a different belief in which that they don't believe in God. Restating the definition of peace in this skit, peace is to allow room for all religious beliefs and to allow them at an equal scale where nobody is hurt. As for the other skits that I have watched, peace was quite apparent. One group had war as a scenario, and they declared peace with the opposing army at some point in order to allow room for both civilizations to live in harmony. This occurs after a soldier dies and his best friend forces the commander to declare peace. Another skit had a bullying discussion about how every kid who is bullied is hurt in the long term, such as how a crying person made fun of at school was weeping due to his father's death. In every skit, they all generally state that the definition of peace is to live in harmony and to not harm one another. For the former skit, peace means to live in harmony, while the latter refers to peace as respecting one another. So to conclude, peace in general in every single skit means to live in harmony as a whole definition. In the resolution of my skit, peace looked like all of the representatives of the four most known religions, Islam, Christianity, Judaism, atheism, uniting hands together, accepting each other's beliefs, and standing up to the discrimination around the world. In other words, the resolution of our skit was all religions uniting together to stand up against any religious discrimination. As for the other skits that were performed by the other students, their resolutions to what peace should look like were a lot more simple. One of the groups who talked about war concluded their skit by having both sides of the war sign a peace contract and deciding to live with each other in harmony after a soldier's best friend was shot. Another group, whose main concept was bullying, ended by having the bully realize how much of an impact he has had on people around the world, thus changing the bully's perspective of life and making him into a much more considerate person. So to conclude yet again, the resolution of most skits resulted in peace, reuniting hands, or standing up for each other in some different form. There were many elements that were included in my own skit regarding dramatic elements. Firstly, vocal projection that I included were quite crucial to having an impact on the audience. My voice's tone displayed both sorrow and anger, thus making the audience much more aware of how much Christianity suffers from religious discrimination. I also used body movements in both unison and individually. For unison, I, alongside my group members, spoke the last words regarding religious discrimination at the same time, as well as walked together one by one later on as we listed the four most known religions. As for the individual parts, hand gestures came into play, as I sometimes made a gesture with my hands similar to pedaling a bicycle when I was bland. Or I would do finger counting if I was listing countries or the consequences that Christians suffered. Performance space was quite interesting, as our entire group went down to the stage one by one, giving a speech once someone new enters. We lined up behind each other before we walked on stage, and were about 2 feet away from each other in a straight line once we were all on stage. Finally, we all used props, but my props were quite interesting. The use of a white fedora alongside a gray business-like coat helped the audience figure that I was a Christian, as some interpreted me as a businessman from New York, while others generally saw the look as American, which consists of many Christians.